And like for me, I think a big part of what kind of set the groundwork for me to later on be able to kind of get behind the concept of animal equality for me was that I watched the Planet of the Apes movies, for instance, as a child. And what the classic Planet of the Apes movies, what they do is they opened my eyes to the nonsense of something that we, very automatically think is true, namely that humans are something special and different from animals. We have a soul, they don't. And that's what religious people would say. And even if you're not religious, you would still kind of have this automatic notion that, we're somehow different from other animals. And when I watched these films as a child, I just thought, well, they're just switching roles in that film. And then when Dr. Zaius in the film says, yeah, but if humans, are like apes, so basically just switching roles, how come they don't have a soul? And it's complete nonsense. And you're watching that and you realize, wait a second, that is nonsense. But if you turn it around, it's still nonsense. It's it doesn't get better when a human says it. So that was just someone's idea, and they wrote a story. It was a novel, and then out of that novel, they made the films based on that story. So I think everyone who has some way to create things. It can be art, it can be stories, it can be a song, or just draw something, or like what I started doing when I was an athlete. Just it wasn't sophisticated or anything. I was just I always almost said a meathead. I was just someone just lifting heavy things up and putting them down. There was nothing sophisticated about that. I can just use my sports just to show that you don't have to eat meat and you can still be strong. And there was nothing, as I said, there was nothing sophisticated about it. But now, almost a decade or more than a decade later, I know that I've influenced millions of people's lives, and that's great. But it still goes back to a very little thing, very little decision that I made. So really that sense of powerlessness that we sometimes have, because we think, well, I'm just one human being in this huge world of, billions of people. What can I do when the problems are so huge? No, there's this domino effect. And then also, if you do something, you're going to basically be a magnet for other people and for other souls out there who are going to be like-minded. And then together you can build networks, and like David and I, you can just start collaborating, and then you can make something absolutely awesome. Like the comic, I am absolutely talent-free when it comes to drawing things. So I could have never visualized my story in that way. Together with David, it was possible. So now, all of a sudden, when we work together, we can create something that none of us could have done on their own. So, every single one of us has the power to change everything.